What's your dream? More importantly, do you think you're worthy of it? You see, even at my age, I know one of the biggest dreams we can have is to be happy. My mum and grandpa are joining me today, and even at their age, one of the main goals is to maintain that happiness. I'm the oldest of 3 sisters, and we're growing up learning that we're in charge of our own happiness, which quite frankly is pretty deep stuff. You see, it all comes down to our thinking, the types of thoughts we have and how we handle them. That's why I think it's so important for young people to know that nothing and no one else can make them truly happy. It's all down to them. Although there may feel like there's pressure from everyone, social media, our friends, parents and teachers' expectations, suggested career decisions, never mind what we want. It's so easy to constantly compare ourselves to other people and to feel other people are happier than we are. We hear more and more about how mental health issues are affecting young people. But whether it's exam results, body images, the number of likes on a post, or who's going out with who, it's adding to the increasing amount of pressure we face every day. We normally have the ability, although it can be challenging sometimes, to control the types of thoughts we have and how we choose to interpret all this stuff. So many young people are unhappy because of what they've read on social media or what they've heard around school. But I just wish they knew that what they're hearing and reading isn't making them unhappy. It's the way they're thinking about it which is making them unhappy. If you feel happy and comfortable with yourself, these things are far less likely to have a negative effect on you, because you're in charge of your thoughts and you feel worthy of your happiness.
Middle age brings with it its own set of challenges, and depending on the way we choose to think about these challenges will depend on how happy we are and whether we feel worthy of that happiness. Is there a sense of direction at this stage in our lives, a sense of purpose? Do we know what we want, or are we just going through the motions day in, day out? Perhaps there's a desire for career advancement, maybe whilst also juggling raising children, plus being aware of the fact that our parents are getting older. As I get older, I see that so many people blight their happiness because they're negatively comparing themselves to others. They're busy thinking things like, where are they at in their career? Should I be there? I wonder how much they're earning. Where do they choose to go on holiday? Where do they send their kids to school? Are they doing well? Are they getting good grades? They're so busy negatively comparing themselves. The vast majority of people have no idea what they want out of life. They're benchmarking their happiness against other people's. They think if they have the same, they'll be happy. They're a bit like a ball on a pinball machine being buffeted around by the flippers and springs of circumstance and other people. They head for the hole in the bottom and wonder what happened. Well, not very much really, because they didn't decide what they wanted. They didn't decide what happiness was for them. I decide what happiness is for me. I decide what my big dream is, and I set my own goals. And I can achieve those goals or prevent me from achieving them, whether it be through inertia, fear of failure, fear of success, through lack of self-esteem, or maybe listening to the naysayers, or maybe thinking I'm not worthy of a brilliant life. Happiness is all a result of the way we think, so it's down to us, and it is so important we feel worthy of that happiness.
In my age group, we face retirement, perhaps a lost sense of purpose, which can lead to loneliness, isolation, maybe a sense of detachment. So how can we prepare ourselves for what life continues to throw at us? How can we navigate what Shakespeare called the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, and move from a place where for too many people there's no hope, too many regrets, move to a place where we can still dare to dream, because believe me, you're never too old to dream. So let's talk about this happiness thing. I've spent 30-odd years researching what happiness might be, and I think it's often dismissed as this fluffy, nebulous, Pollyanna, unrealistic concept. And maybe that's because some people tell us we should be happy all the time. Really? Nonsense. Yes, our happiness is determined by our thoughts and values, but I think sometimes it's perfectly reasonable to decide to be miserable. And anyway, too many people confuse happiness with pleasure. Have you heard people say, I'll be happy when I have enough money to travel the world, I'll be happy when I get my new car, happy when I get retired, happy when I get kids, happy when I get rid of the kids. They keep writing post-dated checks they never cash.
Pleasure is what we get from family, friends, money, holidays, worthwhile job. Pleasure is time-related, happiness isn't. Get as much pleasure as you can, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee you happiness.
No, I think too often we feel that we're left with a feeling that happiness is somewhere over there. Jim Rohn said, happiness is not something you postpone for the future, it's something you decide for the present. If you look up a dictionary definition of happiness, it can be contentment, satisfaction, feeling of well-being, or maybe all three, but being happy does not mean you never experience negative emotions, that you never feel sad, frustrated, disappointed, but happiness should be having pleasant thoughts the vast majority of the time.
Happy people have lots more positive thoughts. They don't ignore the sad times. They know they're still part of their life, but they don't let them go on, round and round, in their head, always focusing on them. Happy people give more time for the fun things. They don't sweat the small stuff.
Just to be practical and pragmatic here for a moment, a study led by Professor Andrew Oswald of Warwick University found that happy people, generally speaking, produce about 12% above average. Unhappy people produce about 10% below. There's money in happiness.
And being pessimistic and cynical, that's the easy route, that's the lazy way of thinking. It takes far more guts and courage to decide to be happy, to strive for that glass is half full attitude in life. It takes more effort to have a sense of well-being and calm. That's not to say, though, that people living appalling situations such as those in Syria or living with the aftermath of Hurricane Haiti are supposed to be happy. But even in those extreme circumstances, people will respond differently according to their own individual mode of thinking. It's about reframing our thoughts.
Neuroscientists tell us that 95% of our thoughts are subconscious. 95% of what we do on a day-to-day basis is simply a result of reactive habit. So it's about intercepting that loop, being conscious of the nature of our thoughts. We're born to be happy. We don't have to earn it. And if we have a happiness program running continuously in the background, when life gets tough, as it sometimes does, you lose a loved one, you face redundancy, you might have a family breakup, we've developed the resilience we need to handle those difficult times. Abraham Lincoln said, happiness is a state of mind. You're about as happy as you make up your mind to be. Have you made up your mind? Have you decided you're worthy? Because if your self-image doesn't think you're worthy, it will find a way to sabotage your happiness.
You see, it's about believing in yourself, that you're worth something better. You're worthy of your best life. I know with the right mindset, I can navigate the challenging times and achieve the good stuff. We all want great things out of life, and with a can-do attitude, it's all possible. As you grow older, what you aspire to be changes. Hold on to those dreams, though, because you never know where they might take you. At the moment, I see myself as being an actress, and with self-belief and hard work, I know I can achieve this. Who knows, though, that dream might change. That might change. What's important, though, is that I feel worthy of this dream, and whatever path in life I choose to follow, it will be my choice.
And those dreams, they're the foundation for the great things in life. They're the springboard. Children dream big of being an astronaut, an explorer, running the country, saving the planet. But what happens to those dreams? The sad reality is that for so many children, those dreams gradually diminish and disappear. But why? Is it the grown-ups? Do they tell children to be more realistic, have more achievable goals? Or is it us? Do we put the obstacles in the way? Because we can never outperform our self-imposed mental limitations, and that is why it is vital that from an early age we learn how to manage our thinking.
As intergenerational families, we can teach ourselves and our children to be happier, have better mental health, more positive mindsets, build resilience. We can find new ways of thinking. Positive thinking often doesn't cut it. It's a bit like curing a leaky pen by wearing rubber gloves. You don't fix the problem, you end up with making the best of a bad job. And by the way, for too many British people, positive thinking is like having your foot trapped under the wheel of a car and thinking, oh, it's a nice day. It's not raining. I bet by lunchtime I'll have my foot out from under this car. No, no, no. Positive thinking, no. Conscious thinking, yes. conscious thinking change your life. If we know we're born to be happy and we know we're worthy of it, creating an even better life can be learned. It's realistic and absolutely doable.
Life's pretty short. Like you, I was lucky. I grew up knowing this kind of thing. How important it is to have a sense of purpose and to go for it. Otherwise, life just passes us by. And let's face it, the older we get, the quicker it seems to go. It's said that there's around 80 years in the average lifetime. So how many days do we get for this? 30,000? 50,000? 100,000? Or 250,000 days? Do you know it's just 30,000 days in the average lifetime? That's only about 4,000 weekends. So let's put it another way. For illustration purposes, let's go by the Bible's 70 years and 10, so 70 years. And let's allocate each of those 7 decades to a day of the week. So Monday would be 0 to 10 years old, Tuesday, 11 to 20 years old, Wednesday, 21 to 30 years old, and so on. So which day of the week are you on?
I'm on Tuesday morning.
I'm on Friday lunchtime.
I'm on Bank Holiday Monday. I've started another week.
As Ferris Bueller says, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you miss it. So what are you doing with your life? Are you making the most of it? Are you happy? And if not, why not? What's stopping you?
It's not Mum's job to make me happy.
Any more than my happiness depended on my parents.
Parents and carers can create a happy environment in which they can teach their children to learn to be happy in. But it's down to the child's own mindset and their own way of thinking in which they choose to be happy or not.
For a human being to be truly happy, they need to take full responsibility for their own happiness. How amazing it would be if everybody did that, knowing they could chart their own life. How mind-blowing it would be if young people could shed their lack of self-belief, confidently knowing that they possess the capability to pursue their big dreams.
There's not much I can control out there, but what I do know is the life I lead will be based on the thoughts I have, which will drive my life in the direction I choose. I don't want to just be the star in the movie of my life, but the director too. You see, life happens, but it's not just about letting it happen, it's about making it happen and taking yours where you want it to go. I'm lucky. I have strong role models for positive change, and every young person deserves this. But not every young person has this. Parents, carers, and teachers, you all have a responsibility to show young people we all really can dream big. And we all really can be happy, but only if we give ourselves permission to be. Because we are all worthy of this happiness, and the responsibility lies with us. Thank you.
Thank you.